Scotland, 1847. A woman lies dying in a crofter's cottage on the Isle of Barra. Her family huddles around her bed, praying. Suddenly, the eldest son hears a sound, fluttering like a flock of crows outside the window. He rushes to close the shutters, but too late. A black shape presses against the glass. Dozens of faces flicker in his smoke-like body. And with her final breath, the woman exhales, and the shape dissolves into the night. They don't speak of it, but every villager knows what came to her window. The SLOO-ah. The SLOO-ah are not single beings, they are hosts, a shifting swarm of twisted shadows, wings like ravens, and faces like the damned. Unlike banshees who cry as warning, the SLOO-ah do not warn, they take. An old Gaelic monk wrote, "They are not of hell nor heaven, but of the air, and forever hungry." These words described the SLOO-ah, the army of the unforgiven dead, souls so wicked, hell itself spat them out. The name SLOO-ah comes from the Gaelic Sluagh, meaning host. An ancient belief, these were the souls of oath-breakers, murderers, betrayers, rejected by heaven and rejected by hell, condemned to roam, twisted into hunters of souls. In later Christian tales, priests called them a fallen host. Not quite demons, not quite angels, but lost forever between worlds. In 1779, a rowboat washed ashore on the Isle of Lewis. Inside, no man, no oars, only a fishing net neatly folded and claw-like scorches etched into the wood. Villagers said the fishermen had been taken, lifted by the shadows that sweep the sea. The SLOO-ah haunted deathbeds and coastlines alike. Stories tell of deathbed hunts, families barred windows so the host couldn't reach the dying, seafarers, black flock flying against the wind, stealing fishermen from their boats, wanderers, travelers pursued by whispers, shadows swooping low into the night. Unlike omens, the SLOO-ah didn't foretell death, they delivered it. In 12th century Germany, peasants claimed to see a ghostly army thundering through the sky, horses without riders, dogs without masters, led by a hooded figure. They called it Wildejacht, but in the Celtic lands it wasn't riders, it was black wings, a sky full of SLOO-ah. The SLOO-ah mirror the wild hunt, a spectral procession seen across Europe. In Norse myth, Odin led dead warriors. In German folklore, hunts foretold plague or war. In Celtic lands, the hunt was the SLOO-ah, not noble riders, but the condemned. Unlike other hunts which warned of disaster, the SLOO-ah weren't warning anyone, they were hunting. On the Isle of Skye, families of the dying barred one window above all others, the western one, not to keep out cold winds, but because the west belonged to the dead, and if that window was open, the SLOO-ah could come. Celtic superstition tied the west to the other world. To leave a west-facing window open was to invite the host. Families used iron tools to repel fae, crucifixes and holy water to guard the soul, candles burning at deathbeds to hold shadows back. But no matter the ritual, villagers whispered the same truth. If the host wanted you, there was no defense. 1998, Scottish Highlands. A hiker battles a gale near Glen Cove. Over the rear of the storm, he hears it, hundreds of wings beating in unison. He shines his torch. Nothing, but the sound moves against the wind, circling him. That night, he tells local what he heard. They nod and say, the host still flies. Today, the Sluagh lives on and whispers. Storm watchers on Hebridean coast speak of black swarms moving against the wind. Paranormal accounts compare them to shadow people seen beside hospital beds. Folklorists argue they are the embodiment of death itself, fear carried on the wind. But in villages, belief is simpler. The Sluagh are real. They never left. You lie in bed, fevered and weak. The night wind scrapes the glass. A flutter, like wings. You close your eyes, praying it passes. And then you hear the whisper. Dozens of voices just outside your window. And you realize they are not here for anyone else. The Sluagh are the most feared of the fair folk because they are not tricksters, not lovers, not warriors. They are hunters. And what they hunt is the only thing that you cannot lock away. Your soul.